Morning, ladies, and welcome to today's little bit of insight and suggestions for you today on another thing to help you move forward to noticing little things that you can do and that you can implement that are putting your focus back onto you and the importance of you looking after yourself first. And what I wanted to talk to you about today, I've diverted from what we actually had planned, and Leanne does not know this just popped into my mind this morning. I want to talk to you about boundaries, and the reason I wanted to address this one today is because I've had several conversations with my youngest daughter over the weekend, and I think I may have mentioned that to you in another context, but the reason that she was upset about something was she had a guest of who was actually a guest of her partner's, and he was staying with them for a few days, and he absolutely violated her values around how her home should be looked after and should be treated. So she struggled because she didn't quite know how to handle it. She didn't want to make a scene. She was mindful of her partner's feelings as well. Anyway, we had a good old chat, and it was, so obvious for me. This is around boundaries, and if somebody oversteps the mark with our boundaries in any shape or form, whether it's how they speak to us, how they treat our home, how they treat us, how they assume that we're always going to be there for them, expectations of how, and family can do this, high expectations of how available we should be for them, and boundaries and enforcing our boundaries, actually recognizing our own boundaries first, then stepping into our power to enforce those boundaries, to me, is one of the most critical things that women really must start to step into more and more. There is nothing wrong with laying down the law about what is right for us and what is not. And I remember going way back when my kids were younger, and it's only over the years as I've started doing more of this sort of work that it occurred to me that I allowed my kids or my husband at the time to take control of the television. I'd be sitting watching a show, and then they'd just pick up the remote and change the channel, and I'd just get up and walk and leave the room. Now, to me, I thought, oh, it's not a big deal, but actually it was. The same applied when we were driving in the car. The kids were in the car, they kept changing the radio station, and I was listening to my music. So, and I let that go. And as I looked back over the years, looking back at where I was responsible for not stepping into my power and standing my ground on the little things. The little things actually are the big things. So, I became very aware of the role I played in allowing other people to just override what I was doing or what I was watching or what I was listening to. And I think as parents, many of us are no doubt guilty of that, or not so much guilty, but many of us fall into that pattern. So today, recognizing what are your boundaries, what ways do you let other people overstep the mark with your boundaries, and what are you going to do about that? It doesn't have to be a confrontational thing. It's really just saying, I find that unacceptable. I would prefer that in future you did not do that. There's a nice way that you can get your message across and ask for what you want and ask for what you don't want. So leave that with you today. Have a great day, and I'll be back with you soon. Bye for now.